Don't worry, be happy. Okay, so I'm headed out to check Eleanor's, the progress of Eleanor's John Galt. Eleanor's John Galt. And down in Long Beach, or actually Carson or whatever, Torrance, Carson area, whatever. And I bought some coffee. Okay, so this is a crime. Coffee, crime. My kind is allowed to drink coffee. My kind is allowed to play pool. My kind is allowed to go to coffee shops. My kind, if I go to college, my college degrees need to be sabotaged, right? By paid off teachers and weird, freaky things like this. Also, this is funny. I just got, this is awesome. I never seen, this at like a 7. Little cookie dough balls. I miss these. These are like, I remember the animation days. Going to that little refrigerator all day and grabbing cookie dough balls. Good old days before my brain's still not booted up yet. Before the finding out that I'm being hunted by a planet and the government, trying to make me look crazy, as a cover-up, obviously, to the real hate. Finding people mad at me for things that don't matter. The Spanish Inquisition questioning from every person I've ever interacted with. Where'd you get your money? Is that car safe? Why do you want to buy a Corvette? Why did you modify a Trans Am? Modifying Trans Ams are a crime. We have to mob you to death with psychological warfare with billions of government dollars for the crime of modifying a car. Yeah, nobody's ever done that. It's unheard of. And so that's what we're doing. It's about 10 a.m. Cruising down to, it's not really Long Beach, it's more Torrance, Carson, 15 minutes from Long Beach. Area. Check out Eleanor's John Galt. And there's a final note here that Terrence Scroggins and his group of Jew haters, looking for cover-up excuses. Kevin's crazy, Kevin's this, I have the right to kill Kevin. Terrence Scroggins states on the court stand that if he doesn't like someone, he's allowed to go after them and hunt them. So if you want to download my transcripts of my trial with Scroggins, you can see that he's not on the level, he's not legit, he's a stalking, Jew-hating, angry, enraged, bigot, and racist, and ex-Vietnam vet, so he has linked events with Kelly Hatch sent after me, trying to cover that up as well. And I just want to state, so the people that watch this, that he is getting significantly more violent, and he's following me from place to place, just happens to be showing up. And when he sees me, he yells at me, screaming at me, "You're crazy!" Like a couple weeks ago, I heard a vibration on the front of my truck, and I sort of got out and I pushed down on the hood to see where the vibration was coming from. He started screaming, "What are you doing? You better not, blah, 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 you're crazy, you're this." And we know by now, with the hundreds of interactions from Scroggins, while he veers over to my house every day, right after I take showers and things. How does he even know that? Waiting for me to come out of my house so he can interact, so he can provoke. You're a crazy loon, you're this, because he wants the reactions. He's trying to get the reactions like he always has, which there's hundreds of videos on. And he's done this over and over before the arrests with Dincy, who was clearly paying him off, because Dincy admits on the stand that Dincy contacted him, and he's on the homeowners association. He was on the homeowners association board at the time, and I want to sort of dial in what's really going on here, aside from the NSA level stalking groups working with him, because that's a whole nother level of things that aren't normal. But on the surface, Scroggins, okay, you got a college-educated person that grew up in Hidden Hills and Calabasas, around people like Nikki Sixx and the Avalons and famous stars and high-profile people. And you have a ex-Vietnam vet who sits around all day picking his ass at home, and he's a professional trash digger, literally. He's a professional trash digger, so he hops on his bicycle every day in the morning, and he dumpster dives for plastic cans, tin cans and plastic bottles to sell for change. Okay? So you do the math that on the surface, that goes much deeper, Terrence Scroggins, who is getting significantly more violent and angry, who states on the court transcripts that, I better get to where I'm going, that he states on his court transcripts that he is in anger management, okay? So you got a guy that is an ex-Vietnam vet, who knows why he enlisted in the Army. That's not my concern. I don't give a shit. He can enlist in buttering up his ass with pancake syrup and butter for all I fucking care, and he can run around in little pink tutus the rest of his life. I don't give a shit. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, provided it's not him hunting me with his jealous, enraged, bigoted, racist hate, okay? That he's a nothing, he's a nobody, and he's a loser. And then try to make me sort of think that I'm him with his mass groups. Like when we have all these women running around going, you're a pathetic loser, and you're trying to make me think that I'm Scroggins or something, right? And that's the whole level of schizophrenia things going on with the psychology community. And that's a whole different, those are much more complex topics. But if we're going to break this down on the superficial level, Scroggins is a nobody. He's a ex-veteran trash can digging loser that follows college-educated people around. And the more things I start doing for myself, for my life, with these mass groups, so it's not him alone, with these mass groups stalking me, he's linked to these mass worldwide gang stalking groups. Example, I'm doing 3D scanning of my cars and things like that, and he's making it and getting my Corvette fixed after John Elway Chevrolet was told to destroy the engine, correct? And he's actively in the forefront with these mass groups stalking me and getting angrier and angrier, exponentially getting angrier the more things I try to do or accomplish, okay? Now, this is an ongoing 45-year thing from stranger to stranger, right? You don't see me doing 3D animation or internet host providing anymore, or all these things that started in 2001 with Mike Huntley at my company, my business, Signity Services. You're a fucking dead man. I've given you enough rope to hang yourself with. Have a good life now. World of paranoia. Okay, so Mike Huntley paid off to have me killed. That's 2001. Finding out that he was always hunting me since 14 with Paul Humphrey. Okay, Scroggins. I sit around. I'm a professional trash dirt. A professional trash can dumpster diver who sells bottles and cans for change to a college-educated person who grew up in Hidden Hills, who taught himself how to build cars and engines when he was 16. I'm not going to claim that I'm a fucking amazing engine builder or car builder or anything. You're a 16-year-old with no money. Okay. But what I'm saying is that you're talking about two different animals here, and a jealous, enraged ex-killer who's been in the field blowing away the Chinese or Koreans or whatever in the rice fields, and all he knows is probably I turned 18, enlisted in the Army, and I'm hunting down, and now I got out, and I need someone to hunt and kill, and Kevin's a target of a government operation, so why not try to benefit or release some of his bigot, racist hate and anger with the corrupt sect of the government like Dincy. Dincy paid off to have me killed and executed. Okay, now Dincy's trying to cover it up that Kevin's crazy and Kevin's a public nuisance. But doesn't that which I don't even think is around anymore, but he still could be. But doesn't that link to Mike Huntley? Kevin's out of control monster needs to die. Oh, why? Because Signity Services didn't make money like we wanted it to? Is that why? So I need to die? Or was Mike Huntley paid off to have me killed? Clearly, Mike Huntley was paid off to have me killed. Because why, in 2001, did I wake up into a planetary murder operation of things like, well, you ruined Damon Reagan's life because your Trans Am was better than his Camaro, or things don't make any fucking sense. Okay, what's the point I'm making here? As things start to sort of work out, the Corvette's starting to get back together. We're having increased levels of worldwide murder attacks, and most importantly, Scroggins at the forefront of the one-to-one. I'm waiting for you to walk out of your house and initiate, start shit, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. If you don't park your car perfectly straight, I'm going to charge you money with the HOA, things like that he was doing about 5 years ago. Now everything gets on video. It wasn't back then. Now everything of him gets on video. So the threats and blackmail and this and that of him linking to the HOA, and then I think I had another dialogue about how Jennifer Pilchuk Perlman, who states she needs to hunt me and kill me and deem me as crazy, with to her political friends, my sister-in-law, who lost against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, trying to cover up my brother's road rage shit and say it was me. You get it? Scroggins getting more and more aggressive as the car is starting to get back together. And I'm going out and doing things like scanning my cars and uploading the scan data for people. In an anger and rage as he's getting more and more violent. Okay, he's getting more and more violent and aggressive, and he's following me from place to place, pretending that it's about him walking his dog, and while he's following me from place to place, there's obviously the mass group attacks, so that he can try to get me enraged at him and make it look like I'm crazy, okay? And crazy is always the cover-up for we're hunting Kevin to exterminate him. So all those porn stars following me from place to place, trying to lure me everywhere, over and over their entire lives, who then state I'm crazy and a loon and this and that, are clearly being paid to do the same things that Scroggins is doing. Now, we can psychoanalyze the roots of where they come from. It's really probably irrelevant. But Scroggins, for example, is angry because he's a fucking worthless piece of shit. I mean, he's a worthless piece of shit, and he was given money by people in the LAPD to stalk me. He probably, as I explained before, sits around. He has some probably minor army pension. And he collects cans probably for enough money to buy some simple food. And then he sees a guy with a college degree who's working on his cars, who's starting to get back into his cars, and he gets angry. He flips off his handle. Now, he's also using it as a benefit that there's political agendas like Mike Huntley paid off to have me killed, linking to my father and my brother in the psychology community. And that's actually the bigger picture and the more important dialogue, because getting caught up in the Terrence Scroggins paid off to have me killed, or try to set me up and frame me like Mike Huntley over and over, are all repetitive, jumping from person to person, stranger to stranger, my entire life, from teacher to teacher, friend to friend. Paul Humphrey, Mike Huntley, Tom Farley, teachers, high school, middle school, college. The bigger picture. Let's stick with Scroggins, because Scroggins is a paid off Uncle Tom piece of shit, and he'll take the money. He's like a mercenary, right? He doesn't care. He'll take the money because he's a worthless piece of shit, and he knows it. And he sees a guy with a college education, who had his own company and has a computer science and 3D animation background, and has worked in Hollywood doing visual effects, and is a .NET programmer, is a Transx SQL programmer, and can take apart his car and work on cars and whatever. You know what? Can get into photography, do green screen photography with fantasy scenes and shit that he can't even fathom because he's just a dirt digging trash digger, ex-Vietnam or ex-army dirt digging trash digger who literally goes around on his bicycle dumpster diving for trash cans, tin cans and plastic bottles to sell. That's what he is. That's his job title, a dumpster diver. Okay. And unfortunately, it's not that simple of a jealous Jew hater, but he is. He is. And when you're thinking about people that fought for our country, he's not one of those people. He's just a person in it for himself, and he'll kill anyone in his path and rape and pillage and steal everyone else's things, or kill you and try to steal your house and things like that. And he'll cover it up like my brother and Mike Huntley that Kevin's crazy, okay? So the cover-up is that guy's crazy. But in the grand scheme of things, you think someone's crazy, stay the fuck away from them. Don't follow them around trying to, I'm going to prove they're crazy. See, I punched them in the back of the head 500 times. I told you they reacted. I told you they're crazy. Okay, well, none of these people, especially my brother, are doing this because they think I'm crazy. They're doing it out of hate. Period. Hate. Now, Scroggins is with these worldwide groups are exponentially growing as I start to sort of try to achieve some very minor things for myself, or go out and do things, and they're getting angrier and angrier, exponentially watching as I exponentially watch it grow and get it on video. And so I'm just stating for the record for everyone on social networks and worldwide that Scroggins, who in the past was paid off by the LAPD to hunt me on political murder agendas, okay, political murder agendas, that has nothing to do with whether Kevin's crazy or not crazy. And as I have explained, it doesn't matter if you think I'm crazy or not crazy. The only thing that matters is that if you don't like me, stay the fuck away. And Scroggins is actively getting more aggressive and more violent and trying to provoke me, follow me and provoke me more and more, like he was doing 5 years ago, which I now have a huge folder under. You can download it on my website, kevinperlmantarget.com, under the people folder, Terrence Scroggins, watching him follow me around, watching him tear up cards and throw them on the ground, watching him run up to me over and over, trying to get interactions and say, oh, poor me, Kevin's coming after me, oh, poor me, okay? So he runs up to you, he threatens you, and then he goes, oh, poor me, Kevin's coming after me, okay? The same things Mike Huntley and everyone else was told to do my entire life since 5 years old, especially my brother over and over, growing up, punching me in the back of the head or flicking me in the ear, and then trying to show me movies or flicks to make it look like I conform to media while I threaten my life. He has a bug in my room, and he and his friends are going to put me in a mental institution and all that, because he wants what? Because he wants the family inheritance. Okay, you think this is about psychology? It's not. You think Jason thinks Kevin's crazy, so he's paying off, or his wife's following me from place to place. We need to make Kevin look crazy and lock him away. No, it's about fucking money. It's about money, okay? So Scroggins is running around sort of having people ask their little Spanish Inquisition wannabe interrogation questions, right? The same thing I've always seen. And then they're having larger and larger groups attack me as if I've done something wrong because he has an opinion that he doesn't like my kind, or I'm this or that, and he has the right to kill me, just like he states on the court stand that you can download my transcripts from my court case of Scroggins flat out admitting that he has the right to hunt people he doesn't like, okay? Let me say this, Scroggins has stated if he doesn't like someone, he is allowed to hunt them and kill them, okay, or exterminate them. While he also admits he's taking anger management classes, and Scroggins is starting to become unhinged again, like about 4 or 5 years ago, around 2016, 2017. Okay, so I'm letting everyone know worldwide, well, Kevin, why didn't you call the cops? Because the cops, no matter how many hard drives you dump on their desk of worldwide groups trying to kill you, or no matter how many police reports you file with them, refuse to admit the situation is even happening, and has flat out stated at multiple police stations that people are allowed to get together and hunt me and kill me if they don't physically touch me. Okay? The cops have stated that. And are audio recorded and downloadable off my website, that if it's any other person on the planet, they're protected, but this 5-year-old needs to be hunted and killed and die with Dr. Ronald Barry Perlman. Okay. Scroggins, as I explained, linking to therapist Kareen Eshigan, 2013. You're a snitch, you're dead. I didn't even know who Scroggins was. Greg Koenig, his neighbor, was actively hunting me. And one, Scroggins linked with therapist Kareen Eshigan in 2013. Kevin's a snitch, he's dead. Kevin's ratting us out for hunting him to kill him. Running up to me saying, you glued my mailbox shut. Trying to make it look like I'm doing things to him. And I even had some weirdo in Agura the other day stating that something about Tony Robbins and signs, devil worship signs or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? Tony Robbins is like a self-help motivational speaker, right? I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that Tony Robbins is like a motivational speaker. And what the fuck does that have to do with devil worship? Okay, so once again, some weirdo wearing gray pants, black shirt, while they're now starting to follow me around in an older tactic. And today and yesterday, while Scroggins is following me around, he's wearing black pants, gray shirts, with the visual stalkings, trying to get me to react in anger on him. Okay, trying to set me up and frame me, like Mike Huntley's own admission in my office. I can't set you up and frame you. That was in 2001. Mike Huntley, I'm trying to set you up and frame you and kill you and exterminate you, no matter what it takes, since you were 14 years old. Okay? With Paul Humphrey sent after me at the same time to help. And this goes down to 5 years old. And the point I'm making here, that I want everyone to let everyone know, that Scroggins is actively getting more and more violent from day to day, waiting for me to come out of my house, pretending to walk his dog, following me to the park, running up to me, yelling at me, you don't get out of your car, you're crazy, things like this, okay? So I just wanted to state that so everyone knows, as Scroggins. And of course, we're also seeing the same pattern behavior. I could probably go to 100 million different people, but the same with this Yuki, whoever the fuck that is, at the Warner Center Met, who I have the defamation blogs on my website under the defamation section. Don't talk to Kevin Perlman. If you see him on the street, he's a violent, paranoid schizo, and call the cops if you see him. Some Asian girl I've never even met or spoke to, clearly working with Mike Huntley, because in that blog is Mike Huntley's statements. Yeah, Kevin was my business partner, he's crazy, and right, the guy threatening my life at 29, I'm 29, for no reason, telling me I'm a fucking dead man with unlimited government resource, dropping paper on my desk about how to make people mentally ill and kill them. And how is Mike Huntley going to the Warner Center Met, to my complex, to Terrence Scroggins, to Jennifer Pilchick Perlman? Well, I can tell you how Mike Huntley goes to Jennifer Pilchick Perlman, Jason Perlman's wife, because Mike Huntley was originally Jason's friend, who was clearly paid off to have me killed. Okay? Now, why would Jason want me dead so bad? Because I'm crazy? Or because he wants the family inheritance? Okay? Let's be realistic here. Let's talk common sense, okay? People don't devote their entire lives to killing people or exterminating or making them look crazy or eradicating them because they think they're crazy. They hunt people to make them look erratic, crazy, or lock them away for money. For money, meaning that Terrence Scroggins is taking money. You know, maybe it's like I mentioned in my other video, he's probably being given that house, that townhouse, Unit 3 in Woodland Oaks. He's given that townhouse for a reason. And what is Terrence Scroggins' real job? To follow Kevin around and hunt him and try to make him look crazy and exterminate him, okay? Period. So now I'm getting back in the cars for the last year and a half, and he's getting angrier and angrier. Why? Because everyone's in danger of Kevin, or because he is trying to cover something up, or he's getting money to have me killed or exterminated, and that's his bread and butter to feed himself, is someone paying him money to have me killed. Correct? A professional hit. Paying someone to exterminate or paying someone to have someone killed is a professional hit. Okay? No matter what the means of execution, it doesn't matter. I've met a lot of people, well, if someone wanted to kill you, they'd shoot you. Well, you know, people who kill people, I'm sure, have all sorts of different methods, like everything else in life. Okay? So, that's like saying that someone has sex with someone has to do it missionary, or they've never had sex, right? There's 100 million sex positions. Why does it have to be missionary? I'm sure people come up with their own sex positions every day, but you get the point. You get the point. That when people ask those stupid moron questions, they're trying to make you look crazy. Okay, because nobody's that stupid. Okay, so yeah, so Scroggins, Yuki, the Asian girl, if that's the same girl running around telling me if I ever talk to people, she's going to call the cops on me. I'm not allowed to talk to people, okay? Some Asian girl with tattoos that walks, she has 2
In 1.5 miles, take exit 3B toward I-110 South, San Pedro.
They're all sort of getting actively aggressive as I start avoiding the worldwide attacks and focusing more on myself and doing things which I've been trying to do since 29 after Mike Huntley's death threats. So, for example, going to a coffee shop and writing a business plan for a new business on a piece of paper. Starbucks was hunting me to have me killed with unlimited resources, and that was 21 years ago. At 29, that was Topanga and Ventura Starbucks. We're going to hunt you and kill you with Mike Huntley and Paul Humphrey. Okay, so you get the idea. Once again, Scroggins and his Jew kill groups, his gang stalking groups, gang stalking is originated from Adolf Hitler himself, used by people in the LAPD, used by, with security companies in LAPD, or police, LAPD and police, and security companies. And there is a hierarchy of these kill groups. Possible male mental, they don't have the right to live or exist, things like that, okay? Things that people are afraid to talk about, or their head's too buried in the sand of their fantasy world, or not understanding that shit does go on with our government, or they're stupid, or they're whatever, but or they're in denial. They don't want to believe what's really going on is really about what it is, and it's not about Kevin Perlman, other than I was labeled a 5 and flag and kill, government flag and kill operations with my father and the psychology community. And on that note, isn't it interesting that around that age, our dog Oppo bites my brother in the face, and my father decides to kill me. And he doesn't do anything to the dog. He comes after his 5-year-old because Oppo bites my brother in the face, or something on that level. So think about that. My father's not mad at the dog. He's mad at the shy, quiet 5-year-old Kevin Perlman because the dog bit Jason in the face. And you could analyze. Now remember, I was born on Castle Creek Air Force Base, linking Scroggins to my father on some level. Okay? Army, Air Force, there is a connection there, and it goes straight to my father. Kill Kevin at all costs since he was 5 years old. Okay, so think about that as well. While Scroggins is getting more and more violent and pursuing me at a higher, more aggressive rate, like in 2016, 2017, this time everything he does gets on video, And you can download it under the people folder on the raw data directory, the people folder off kevinperlmantarget.com. Everything he does, he gets on video or audio recorded. And you will see that he keeps veering my direction, trying to start shit and then cry wolf. Start shit, then cry wolf. Set you up or frame you. The same things have been going on nonstop since 5 years old.
In a quarter mile, take exit 3B toward I-110 South, San Pedro.
Nonstop, stranger to stranger, since 5 years old. It's not about anything, but Kevin needs to die.
Take exit 3B, then keep right at the fork to stay on exit 3B.
After he made it to about 5 years old. Okay, so that's it. Well, I'm trying to sort of GPS here. And drive.
Keep right at the fork to stay on exit 3B.
So remember that is all this is about. The rest is noise and bullshit.
Continue for 20 miles.
Kevin Perlman needs to die. Scroggins is being paid. There's no doubt about it. Scroggins is getting more aggressive, more violent. The more my car's getting back together. Mass groups are sort of attacking with him, obviously, because he wants to make it look like I'm filled with anger and rage. What was Mike Huntley's statement? I'm filled with anger and rage for finding out that Mike Huntley has a worldwide murder operation to kill me with my father and brother since 5 years old. So that supposedly makes me be filled with anger and rage. It's irrelevant if I am or not. And by the way, if there's a worldwide campaign hunting me to kill me for 50 years, I have the right to be angry about it. Okay. Because it's justifiable anger. It's justifiable anger.
In a quarter mile, keep left. Follow signs for California 110, Harbor Freeway.
It's justifiable anger, whereas Terrence Scroggins' anger is not justifiable. Adolf Hitler's anger is not justifiable. People walking around going, you're crazy, so I have the right to kill you, or I'm going to make you look crazy. I think you're crazy, so I'm going to
continue for 19 miles.
I think you're crazy, so I'm going to try to make you look crazy, or prove it, is not justifiable. But saying these people need to be stopped is justifiable in self-defense. Okay. In other words, I have the right to have the same life as everyone else on every level. Period.
In 800 feet, turn right onto Flower Street.
Kevin, so he's not allowed to breathe or be out in the world or whatever. They're all the same murder, extermination, criminal acts. Of exterminating someone out of hate. Period. You can try to justify, anyone can try to justify their hate any way they want. Hate is hate. And you can say, well...
turn right onto Flower Street, then turn right onto Wilshire Boulevard.
He is recorded saying that's the guy I want to kill. So Scroggins is recorded saying that he wants to kill me. Okay, so you can download that as too under the death threat. Scroggins and death threats.
Take the next right onto Wilshire Boulevard, then turn right onto South Figueroa Street.
Scroggins hunting me to have me killed, and it's not just a, oh, well, some people say sometimes people act out in anger. Yeah, he verbally acted out in anger, but he's actively hunting me in very passive-aggressive setup and frame job. Things that have been going on my entire life. So, so you get the idea. Okay, so I accidentally hit the wrong button there. Shut off the camera. So let me just finish this up. And once again state that, so everyone can know, that Scroggins, with his worldwide kill groups, who doesn't want me going to car meets, working on cars, going to coffee shops, playing pool, getting college degrees, because if you get a college degree and play pool, you're an out-of-control monster who's reckless and out of control. And if you work on cars, you're reckless and out of control. And if you get your car aligned, you're reckless, out of control. And if you talk to a stripper, you're like Melody at 16, you're reckless and out of control, need to be hunted and killed and die. Because you're a potential this, you're a potential that, whatever. They're all cover-ups based on hate and rage. And once again, for the record, so everyone knows, Scroggins is with these weird, unheard of linked events from place to place, is getting extremely violent and following me from place to place, trying to provoke me into reactions. The same things we're seeing with strippers and porn stars following me to supermarkets and coffee shops, and Kelly Hatch and many other, Eric Christensen in 91, Sherry Christensen in 91, many others. But Terrence Scroggins is more in your face and more, you're a crazy loon, while he hovers over you and follows you from place to place, and your kind is not allowed to exist. But he's going to cover it up with crazy labels, as if he's allowed to kill crazy people, okay? Or eradicate them. And I will leave it at that.